Hello traders, and welcome to a new day trading strategy video of mine. In today's video we're going to be talking about day trading books. So not trading books like trading them for money, but reading books about day trading. And as you can see with the bottom section, yeah, this was finally voted #1 and by a large margin as well. As you can see here. I would also like to thank all my new patrons. In the last, I think, week and a half, my Patreon has doubled, which I'm internally grateful for everyone who's now posting, suggesting videos, and asking me questions on Patreon here. So thank you guys. Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit more toned down than my other videos. This isn't going to be some fast strategy or some ways to beat other retail traders and trade with institutions. This is just going to be more of a no Ferrari or traveling in Miami, none of that. But this is going to be more of a just presentation of some books that you can read that might help out your trading, because I've read all these books and they really helped out mine. So just a few quick points on the pros of reading. I find that when I'm reading a book in hardcover and hard copy, I find that it's far less distracting than online stuff. When I'm reading an article or watching a video and trying to learn, sometimes I can get pretty distracted because internet and all. I might be reading an article, then going to Reddit, then reading the article again, and then reading another part, and then watching a YouTube video, and just all over the place. But with reading a hardcover book, I tend to just read the book. And especially if it's really entertaining or interesting, I'm just going to read that book and do nothing else, just zone out, and learn as much of that book as I can. So that's a pretty big advantage that books can bring you. Also, reading, I find, is more at your own pace than watching a video or reading an online article. Some videos are going to be paced very, very quickly, whereas as slow as you make it or as much pausing as you do, it's just going to be a very complex video or just a fast-paced video. And then other videos might be pretty slow, where the material presented is really not presented in a quick manner. Reading is a bit different. Reading's where you really get to decide your own pace and how much you want to read or reread, and that can be a pretty big advantage. Reading is also proofread. The books that I'm showing are proofread, minimal to no typos. A lot of people have read over them, not just one person posting content or one person writing an article. And of course, a book is going to provide a lot more material than an article or a video. And it's also going to go much deeper into those topics. So the wealth of material within books is pretty invaluable. It's also going to provide a different perspective. You might see that some articles copy other articles, and some videos look pretty similar to other videos. Yeah, you can say the same about books, but I find that books tend to have their own personality, where it might be a similar topic. Two books might be of similar topics, but their writing style and their writing personality is really going to show with the 300 or 400 word pages that the book has. So that different perspective can really give you an edge by looking at the market in a different way or looking at yourself in a different way. And finally, for the final tip here, I would just say it's healthier. I mean, this can be controversial and this can be argued, but mentally and also to some component physically as well. Reading when I'm reading a hardcover book or when I'm reading a book, that's not online, I find that I'm much more focused. And this goes back to the far less distracting. I find that I'm much more focused and definitely feel much more healthier. But if I'm just on my monitor for like 12 hours straight, trading, reading an online article, and then watching a video, and then doing this and that, it can kind of bog you down mentally. Whereas reading can be very just focused, and I think it's pretty mentally healthy. Yeah. So enough about the good side of reading. Let's actually get into the books. All right. So let's go through 3 books on trading. So the first book is one that I've recommended to, I think, everyone who's messaged me or asked me for a book. This book is really fantastic. It's a much older book, but that really does not take away from any of its wonder. So this is the Elliott Wave Principle from Robert Prechter, and it really covers a lot of different Fibonacci and Elliott Wave stuff. And I put some stuff up here, like it covers Fibonacci's. It also goes into depth about how the Fibonacci sequence came to be, and it goes into depth on Fibonacci of Pisa, the original creator of the mathematical sequence, and then how it came throughout time. And of course, it goes into basic and advanced Elliott wave theory. A lot of what I put on my channel for Elliott wave theory came from this book and what I learned from it. And it also talks about wave personality and also crowd personality when these waves are occurring, which can be pretty helpful. But yeah, so this is a great book if you want to learn more about Elliott wave theory and Fibonacci's. All right, next up we have the Adam Grimes book of Art and Science of TA. So this is going to be a much more just direct technical analysis, how-to kind of book. It covers a lot of material, and I just listed a few things that I remembered and a few things that I found really helpful as well. So I don't think I've talked about Wyckoff market cycles yet. I think I've talked about a little bit on my channel. That's with accumulation, distribution, markdown, and markup, which is looking at trends and consolidation and looking at spots where the smart money is accumulating, and of course, if the smart money is accumulating, then that would mean that the dumb money is distributing, and that's probably where you want to buy. And spots where price consolidation points where the crowd might be the retail crowd might be accumulating, but the smart money is distributing, and we probably want to sell because price is very likely to go down. Wyckoff market cycle. And also goes into even deeper to talk about consolidation dynamics, where within that consolidation, the moves that occur. So a really interesting point on that part. And then also just standard other stuff that a lot of TA books are going to talk about. But I found that this book talked about these topics in depth and also explained why these things work. So just support resistance, range trading, also how to trade breakouts, risk management, and then at the end of the book, there's more of a just like, this is how you become a trader, this is the mindset that you should have, and this is how you can do it. So yeah, phenomenal book, and would highly recommend. So this is Alexander Elder's book. Elder, I think Elder was also the creator of EFI. I think you guys can fact check that. Elder's Force Index, which is a volume-based indicator. So Alexander Elder, yeah, he's created a lot of indicators, and he also wrote a book, The New Trading for a Living. And this book is really nice for more intrinsic values in trading. So I would say this is more of like an extrinsic. Yeah, it talks about risk management, becoming a trader, more intrinsic, but it talks a lot about just ways to learn and market theory. And then this more talks about you and more talks about your psychology and your emotions and how to control them. And then also crowd psychology as well. But this isn't to say that it doesn't cover technical analysis and technical indicators. It talks a lot about MACD and crossovers and some other indicators as well. And it also gives just free trading systems that you can use, such as channel trading, which I know is pretty popular, and then also different rules to limit your risk. So yeah, this is another really, really good book. Just to recap on these three, so this is more going to be Fibonacci's Elliott wave theory, if you're into that, and a little bit of crowd psychology. This is going to be heavy technical analysis of just a lot of different theories. Long book, very helpful. And then this is going to be the more psychology of trading and recognizing the psychology of others who are trading. So yeah, so that would just make up my simple first three books that I would recommend a trader reads. And these are not meant for, these are really meant for all trading skill levels. When I didn't know as much about trading, I was able to read, I think, two out of these three books without any issue. So these books are meant for basic and experts in trading. Okay, so now let's talk about books on psychology. And disclaimer here, all three of these books are from the same author, and you can probably guess who that author is if you, for the Discord members here. Malcolm Gladwell. I love Malcolm Gladwell so much. He's a phenomenal psychology writer. And I actually went to one of his presentations, and of course he was great there, and he actually signed one of my books, which made me pretty happy. So I'm going to be covering three books of his and how they relate to trading and how they relate to your mindset as well. So the first book that I'm talking about here is The Tipping Point, and this was his first book that was written in 2000, and he talks about why trends occur and the law of the few. So basically what this means is he's looking at why any kind of trend occurs. So this could be anything from fashion to technology to also some trading stuff like the internet stock boom of the early 21st century, and so on. Then it also goes deeper into talk about human irrationality, as Malcolm Gladwell talks about a lot, and also about how to learn and teach at the best of your ability. So this is really, I would say, a highly entertaining read, and yeah, would highly recommend. Second book is Outliers. I used some theory in this book for my video on deliberate practice that I'd made, I think like 3 or 4 months ago. And he talks about the 10,000 hour rule, which I think a lot of people are probably aware of. You know, that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill with deliberate practice. And he talks about the deliberate practice and the mindset you should be having to practice. And directing this directly to trading, I would say that a lot of traders overlook practice in trading. They just trade, or they just do market analysis, one of those two. You know, trading or market. There are ways that you can practice, especially using trading views. You can go back in time using trading view with that bar replay, and you can get a wealth of practice in for like an hour a day. You know, if you do that to practice your TA, you're going to be vastly ahead of other traders who do not practice. And reading this book might actually just give you those specific strategies, not for trading, of course, but specific strategies for other disciplines that you could apply to trading. Yeah, so this is a great book for just looking for how to practice and different opportunities to do so. All right, now finally we have my favorite psychology book of all time, Blink. So this book, I have to say, is just it's really got it all. It was entertaining to read. It was really insightful, and it talks a lot about when money gets involved in decision making. So that includes trading, gambling, you know, the whole like. So I did put here that it directly applies to trading. It does. I think it does mention trading a little bit, but a lot of the methods here, almost all, can be just directly applied to trading when you read them. So it talks about emotional decision making of your conscious mind versus your unconscious mind, where unconscious mind might be more just trading intuition, and conscious mind might be actual market analysis that you're actually drawing out, and how those two can conflict, and how sometimes your unconscious mind is going to make you have a snap decision, whereas your conscious mind might slow you down to take a little bit more time before your decision. It also talks about how to read others' psychology and looking at the mass market. And then, of course, it talks about snap decisions as well. And really, it's just, well, like I had said before, this is just a book that really does it all. So yeah, that's going to be it for the 6 videos for the trading books to read. Yeah, we've gone over 3 Malcolm Gladwell's and 3 day trading books that I have found pretty helpful. I know that I probably, of course, with only 6 books, I have not mentioned every single book that might be fantastic to read. So if you guys have any other suggestions for other viewers of this video, then feel free to comment a book that you really liked and see what they think of it. Have a good day.